Welcome everyone to our space on inner healing. Today we're exploring the idea of making peace with your inner critic. We're talking about your inner voice, that nagging part that shows up when you least expect it.
Yeah, that familiar voice. It really is intriguing, right? We all have that inner critic that chimes in uninvited, questioning our choices, our self-worth, even simple decisions like, what to wear.
Exactly, and what stands out is that this voice isn't simply meant to harm us, but actually to protect us. It's kind of like a misunderstood friend, trying its best to keep us from future hurt.
Yep, I totally get that. So instead of fighting this voice or wishing it away, the idea here is to, engage with it differently. It sounds almost like a shift in perspective, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The approach here centers on the 8 C's from internal family systems therapy. These are qualities that help us relate to ourselves with more compassion and clarity.
Exactly. Let's run through those 8 C's quickly, starting off with calm. It's about having an inner stillness, like a serene lake at dawn, which allows you to listen without immediate judgment.
Right. Calm gives you the space to really hear that inner critic. And then comes curiosity, leaning in with openness. Instead of shutting down, you ask, what's really going on here? What are you trying to protect me from?
Yeah, that shift from fear to curiosity is important.
Then you have clarity, which is about seeing things as they are. It helps you understand that that crying voice is not a malevolent force. It's just frightened, trying to prevent you from experiencing pain.
That's a really empathetic take, especially when we typically think of our inner critic in a negative light. It winks at us like it's saying, hey, I'm here to guard you.
Exactly. Next, compassion is key. Once you realize what it's about, you can soften toward it, almost saying, I get you. I appreciate your concern, but I'm in charge here.
Absolutely. And then we have confidence, right? It's the belief in yourself that you don't have to be ruled by that nagging voice.
Right. Confidence builds a boundary between your true self and that critic. And along with it comes courage, the bravery to show up and deal with your inner critic directly, even when it feels overwhelming.
Oh, for sure.
Then, creativity plays a role too. Sometimes humor or playfulness can diffuse the tension. It's like telling your inner critic, thanks for the concern, but I've really got this.
Yeah, a little humor goes a long way. And finally, commitment, staying dedicated to nurturing that internal relationship. It isn't a one-time fix. It's being there for your inner self consistently over time.
Right. It's like tending to a garden. There are parts of yourself that grow with ease, and other parts, like your inner critic, need extra care and structured boundaries.
Indeed, it's all about balancing care and structure. Now, one thing that really caught my attention is the idea of not trying to silence the critic, but rather to hold space for it. Isn't that counterintuitive? I mean, don't we often think that pushing it away is the solution?
Yes, that was a crucial point. Initially, many of us think that if we banish the critic, we'll feel better. But what's fascinating is that the inner critic is, in fact, trying to shield us from pain or perceived danger. So rather than fighting it, we simply, acknowledge it and then gently set boundaries.
I see that now. I get that. And it reminds me a bit of handling a worried friend. Instead of dismissing their concerns, you listen, validate, and then set your own limits. But wouldn't you say that sometimes this voice can be, overwhelming even with a compassionate approach?
That's a fair critique. There are moments when the critic just overwhelms you, a flood of harsh words, and that's when boundaries come into play. It's not just about accepting the voice, it's about saying, I hear you, but I'm leading here.
Right on, that balance of kindness with firmness.
Indeed, boundaries act like gentle fences in that inner garden, allowing growth, yet protecting you from being swamped by the critic. It's really a dance between meeting vulnerability with honest kindness and maintaining structure.
Makes you wonder if, in some ways, all that inner turmoil is simply a sign of how deeply we care about not getting hurt, doesn't it?
Yes, it's a testament to our survival instincts. The inner critic, despite its harsh tone, is attempting to ward off potential hurt or rejection by reminding you every time you make a move.
Exactly. It's almost like that persistent guardian at the castle gate. I love that analogy. A guardian who's maybe too overzealous with protection. It makes you think how shifting our perspective on this guardian can lessen the fear it creates.
Right? Because when we start seeing that voice as an attempt to help rather than hinder us, we can invite qualities like calm and curiosity to respond instead of reacting with defensiveness.
Yeah, that sounds empowering.
And we get to apply these 8 C's in daily moments. In the morning when you're deciding what to wear, or when you're stepping into a new situation and feeling that little voice say, "You're too much." It's about transforming that self-criticism into self-understanding.
So, would you say that this approach demands a lot of self-awareness and patience?
It definitely does. It's not an overnight fix. It's a continuous journey of showing up for yourself. You build self-awareness by consistently applying those qualities, like holding a space where there's, acceptance alongside a bit of firm guidance.
Couldn't agree more. I'm curious, though. Wouldn't a lot of people, when they hear inner critic, immediately jump to a mindset of self-blame and negativity? How do they pivot to this kinder stance?
That's where the IFS approach really shines. It invites you to, reframe that narrative. Instead of thinking, "My inner critic is just out to get me," you view it as a part of your system, a protective ally gone a bit off track. That shift, from battling to befriending, is transformative.
Yeah, turning criticism into an opportunity for growth. It seems so simple on paper, but clearly it's a practice that takes time. I can imagine days when the critic's voice is simply too loud.
Oh, absolutely. Some days are harder than others, but even on those days, setting a gentle boundary, like saying, "I hear you, but I'm here with calm and courage," can make a huge difference. It's about consistency, about commitment to yourself every day.
Consistency is key indeed.
And think about it, this approach nurtures a deep compassion for all parts of you. It's like tending a garden. Joy and creativity flourish alongside those weeds of doubt. With care, even the stubborn parts find room to soften.
That visual is really striking. A garden where every part, even the prickly bits, has worth. I agree, though I do want to explore a potential challenge. Sometimes engaging too kindly with our inner critic might risk reinforcing its negative pattern. Is that ever a concern?
That's a thoughtful point. But the idea is not to indulge the criticism without guidance. Instead, you acknowledge it while, at the same time, asserting a clear self-leadership. It's that blend of kindness and firm boundaries. We're not feeding into it. We're transforming the conversation.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's, a regulated form of engagement.
Exactly. And through that, over time, you begin to see that inner critic lose its grip. You're no longer the victim of harsh self-judgment, but the captain steering your internal ship with the 8 C's as your tools.
That sounds liberating. It's like instead of hearing "you're not enough," you learn to listen with a gentle heart and then respond with, "I see your concern, and I'm capable of handling life."
Yes, it's all about rebalancing that internal dialogue. You start to allow self-love and self-worth to pervade through all those moments of self-doubt with patience and, even a bit of humor when necessary.
Seems to be an invitation to transform inner criticism into, well, inner understanding. It's a steady, daily practice.
Absolutely. And even if the inner critic shows up loud and clear some days, the practice is in returning to your true self, rooted in calm, clarity, and compassionate commitment with each breath you take.
Right, a continuous journey of inner peace.